In this video, we're going to learn how to read Excel files into SAS using code. So basically, we're going to go over program 8.8 because that's an example of how to read an Excel file into SAS. We already learned how to do this with the point and click type of applications that SAS Studio has, but now we're going to learn how to do it with code. So to upload or read an Excel workbook into SAS, we use proc import. So proc import, then data file equals, and you write where your data, where the file containing the data is. Again, it's going to be inside folders, my folders, because that's the SAS Studio folder that we're using. And the name is going to be grades 2 XLSX. So it's this one here, basically. Well, we have to generate it to see how it is, but if we go to SAS University Edition, my folders, so we have grades 2. That's the one that we're using, grades 2, this one here. Let's take a look at how it looks. So as you can see, it has only 3 observations, right? It has a student name, ID, quiz 1, 2, midterm, etc. As you can see, this quiz 1, quiz 2, midterm, these variable names have spaces. So SAS doesn't like that, right? You cannot have a space in your variable name. So that's why when we write our code, we have to write this replace option, because that replace tells SAS that, if it finds a funny variable name, it tells SAS to replace whatever it sees, whatever character is not allowed with, in this case, an underscore for space. So to make those variable names into proper SAS variable names. Now this out option tells SAS where to store the data set that we're creating. And it gives a name to the data set, by the way. So in the work library, which is the temporary library for SAS, we're going to create the data set in the work library. We're going to give it the name grades 2. DVMS could be either the XLSX, which is the new type of Excel file, and this is, that's the extension for this file that we are using, that we're uploading into SAS. Or it could be the XLS, which is the older version of Excel files. Depending on which one you have to write it here. And then the replace, as I explained, is telling SAS to replace any variable name that is not proper for SAS with the proper name. And then run. This is going to create the dataset grades inside the work library, so a temporary dataset. And then I'm going to print it with the proc print. So let me run the program and see what the output is. You see, it printed the dataset, and also it created in the work library a dataset called grades 2 with the variables. Okay, you see, for example, in quiz 1, the space was replaced with an underscore. Because sometimes when you get a data set from somebody, they don't really know, what the rules are for naming variables in SAS. So you could have some variables that are not, that the names are not proper. Okay, so that's how you read Excel workbooks into SAS.